If you want to find the future you seek, you need to teach it. The difficulty is the world is changing so quick. If we want to have a world that's going to be sustainable, you need to teach children sustainability. If you want a world that we're going to protect our environment for their grandchildren, then you need to teach that. But behind all of that is a fundamental belief that coming together for the right values and the right vision and the belief that we can do something that contributes to a better world is ultimately the foundation of this worldwide voyage.
Over the course of the Mālama Honua Worldwide Voyage, the ocean-going canoes Hokule'a and Hikianalia will visit 26 countries and travel more than 47,000 nautical miles. Since her first journey in 1976 to prove the ancient art of non-instrument navigation, Hokule'a has sparked a cultural reawakening throughout the Pacific. For a few select apprentice navigators, this is the first opportunity to journey in the wake of our ancestors.
When you think about how do you get into this space, the frame of mind, to be on this leg to Tahiti, to take one of those very special spots on the canoe when there's hundreds of people who've been training just as hard or harder than I have. I think all I can do is just every single day do as much as I can to make sure the pieces are in place, that I feel we've done everything we can, that it's going to be worth it for not just us sailing, but for the thousands and millions of people following these stories. Because if no one knows about this voyage, it's just 300 people going around the world on Hokule'a. The mission of the voyage is looking at our Earth, and it needs help. And so this voyage is really just a catalyst to get people to feel like they're a part of a movement. This last Mālama Hawaii sail, when we got to come to places like Hilo and look at people just like us who are doing very similar things to protect their oceans, to teach their kids about caring for their place. It's so important because it kind of brings your work and your purpose to a bigger scale. Like what I'm doing in my community is combined with what these guys are doing in this community, and it can make a difference. And so seeing what one individual is doing halfway around the world on behalf of strangers is kind of what this voyage is about. It's just about stringing a lay of stories together and showing people that you're not alone, we're in it together, and we can shift the sail plan that this earth is on.
Beginning with her maiden voyage to Tahiti, there has always been a commitment to spread the spirit of Hokule'a beyond the select 12 to 14 crew members on board. And as Hokule'a ventures beyond the Pacific for the first time with this worldwide voyage, it is an amazing opportunity to bring the world along.
So what I've heard, I wasn't alive in 1976, so I talked to our leadership, and they said on the first voyage, the way they actually got communication back was they would record something on a video recorder. They'd drop it in a bucket from Hokule'a and bring it over to the escort vessel that would then play the recording and radio it back to home. But the educational mission didn't start till later years when they used the radio, the single sideband radio, and they even had that connection with Space Shuttle Columbia to Hokule'a back to Hawaii.
What do you think are the similarities and differences between the shuttle and the Hokule'a's mission? Over.
They're both voyages of exploration. Hokule'a is exploring the past. Columbia is beginning the exploration for the future.
How do we stay focused on board? It's really, so on itʻs, we have a crew of 16, the deck space.
Yeah, a big part of this voyage now is we feel like we can bring pretty much anyone that wants to come on board the voyage virtually. So one of the ways that we would like to include everyone on this voyage is our third canoe. We call it hokulea.com. Everything you need to know about how to track the voyage, how to talk to our crew members by asking them questions, how to adopt the voyage and share what your community is doing around the world is all through hokulea.com. So that instantaneous feeling of, wow, I'm with these crew members and I'm voyaging with them and now I can do something for my community. I think that's what we need to drive action.
As they journey, Hokulea and Hikianalia will fulfill unique roles to spread the message of Mālama Honua, or caring for our earth, to a global audience.
So education is many things. Education can be from the mind of the navigator and the eyes of the navigator on a traditional voyaging canoe called hokulea that depends on watching nature to survive. Education could be that we're sending out via satellite technology experiences and stories about infinite amount of things from another voyaging canoe. It's our sister called Hikianalia. That will be about science. That will be about documentation. That will be about communication. It's the beauty of these two canoes that are transcending time.
Well, when you look at both canoes, this is really important for societies to look at having a foot in the past and understanding where you come from, and that's what Hokulea represents. She'll be completely traditionally navigated in the Pacific, and for children to see that you can look at nature for every answer you need is really important. But then for Hikianalia, it's also important to look forward, to find the solutions you need to solve the world's biggest problems.
Hikianalia, the Hawaiian name for the star Spica, is the companion to Hokulea in the night sky above Hawaii. Appropriately, she is also the support vessel for Hokulea and the communication platform for the duration of this ambitious journey. To advance the way people can follow and engage with the voyage, Hikianalia will house innovative technologies such as satellite connection and marine Wi-Fi.
So first and foremost, this allows us to be able to communicate boat to boat really efficiently. So we have not only we can move now data, which is text or pictures, but we can also video chat from vessel to vessel, which I think will be really useful internally for captains or navigators or any kind of training that happens. You can see face to face now and have a discussion. Secondly, I think it's really important to be able to provide for some of the educational products. So basically, we can send images, live images from Hokulea to Hikianalia, and then from Hikianalia up the satellite down back to OEV TV. So it gets us live images from canoe to canoe and then from canoe back to home. So this is the critical link in everything. There's been various variations of this over the years, but I think we're really pushing on the edge of what technology will allow us to do.
Could it be the ground wire?
This technological infrastructure has also required additions to both vessels that remain in line with the voyage's mission to steer towards a more sustainable future.
What we did is we added a little bit more solar panels so we could have a little bit more power, so that when we're doing this transmitting up to the satellites and between the boats, we're not going to deplete our batteries as much. Again, we're as carbon free as we possibly can, so we gain all of our electrical power through solar cells.
So Hikianalia is solar powered engines, and we truly made a statement about that. We would not rely on diesel anymore to power our canoes. We're going to try, even though it's really tough, to find alternate solutions to energy.
As Hokulea is guided by the wisdom of our ancestors, Hikianalia offers contemporary solutions to some of the world's most pressing issues through modern scientific research.
Manticha on the water! So the theme of the voyage is Mālama Honua, and one of the ways that we're trying to accomplish that is to better understand the ocean or the different places that we're visiting, and to try and learn from what we observe or from what different cultures or communities share with us about how they manage their resources, how they take care of their homes. And one of the ways that we kind of thought that we could incorporate that was through science. So we've developed a few projects that we're hoping to conduct throughout the voyage. We did a plankton project. So we have these little nets that we'll tow behind the canoe when the winds aren't too strong, and we'll collect these little plankton or crustaceans. So we tested different speeds of collecting the plankton, and we are able to look at them on the iPhone using a microscope. And we're working with teachers and schools and here at the University of Hawaii and some other places to try and translate that into like curriculum or things that teachers can use in schools. When you are like an indigenous person, their answers are usually attached to some sort of like experience or doing something that will benefit like their ohana or like their homes or like their people. So I think when you have an outlook like that, it makes your research kind of comes from a different place.
Each of the crew members that are fortunate enough to sail on Hokule'a and Hikianalia foster this collective spirit as they bring along countless families, friends, and supporters.
This voyage is all about bringing community with us on this voyage. And so one requirement of every crew member is that they reach out to their local school or organization to really truly have like a face-to-face connection and a more deeper personal connection with kids and elders and community members to deeper affect them with this voyage.
So whether it's when we're out sailing, trying out Google Hangouts, if you're kind of like the lead point person, maybe they've already seen you at the school, so it's like a familiar face. They're following the voyage physically, like through you, kind of. And I think what it means to me more is like a constant thing that's more important when we're not sailing, to come back and keep those schools and all the kids grooved into what's going on with education, because that's how large it needs to be of a network of people benefiting from this. Otherwise, if you're not going to be able to measure the impact of what these canoes are going to do for our communities, why take the risk?
As Hokule'a and Hikianalia embark on their most ambitious voyage, crew members are mindful of the impact that will be made well after the canoes reach their final destinations.
We've been talking about how do you measure a successful voyage, that this was worth it. For me, it's truly to see a movement happening. We know it's happening, but how do you even collect that? And so for me, it's coming to communities and actually talking to the people who said, you know what, in 4 years, because Hokulea came to our community, we're committing to bring together our fish ponds, our watersheds, our kids, our kupuna, and we're gonna show you what we've done in 4 years because the canoe is voyaging for our community. So I'm really excited in 2017 when we sail back to every community in Hawaii and even around the world to collect stories of what are they doing because the canoes took this chance, took this journey. And that's when I think we'll actually see where the movement has